Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chemical Reactions. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Juliette.
As always, a huge shout out to our Chem Squad. As we always say, the easiest squad to join on the internet with a simple click of the subscribe button. And you're in, super easy.
Yeah, our Chem Squad has been growing a lot recently and we're accepting everyone with open arms. So come on in, join the masses, have a good time, listen to some music,
Yeah, welcome to our new members. We're super glad to have you. So thank you for being here. You certainly mean a lot. All right, so last week, exactly a week ago, we started our School of Metal session, which, as we said, is like School of Rock.
Without Jack Black?
Yeah, minus Jack Black. And a bit heavier than School of Rock stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we started with Master of Puppets by Metallica. So today, obviously, we get a lot of requests for a lot of different bands, a lot of different songs. We're going to be able to do this series for quite a while. But today, we figured we'd do Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Okay.
Iron Maiden is actually a British band. And believe it or not, it was the first band I ever saw in concert when I was 11, about to turn 12. It was for their Fear of the Dark tour.
Interesting.
With Testament opening for them. That was a pretty cool concert. So obviously I bought Fear of the Dark, the album, listened to it multiple times. Hallowed Be Thy Name is actually off of their The Number of the Beast album, which came out I think 10 years before that. So some earlier sound. If I'm not mistaken, and tell me if I'm mistaken, I think it was 1982. Yeah, so this version that we're going to be watching is from the Beast over Hammersmith performance in 1982. So I believe the year when the album came out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's get into it. Very 80s looking.
Yes.
With the hair.
I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time.
Vocals are really taking precedence over the instrumental.
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
They take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running.
Is it about to go off?
All right, quick pause. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I liked Master of Puppets better.
Yeah?
I don't know if I just don't have the ear for it, but to me, it doesn't really sound like the metal I've been exposed to so far. Like, it doesn't really fit, I guess, the definition of metal that I've built, like, just through the videos that we've been doing together. You know, vocals-wise, at least, it sounded somewhere between, like, Bon Jovi and, like, alt rock. And I don't know, I guess I got more of that this is 80s music vibe than that this is metal music vibe. Yeah. And I think the instrumental was good, and I enjoy that at the parts where you could, like, really hear it and, like, feed off of that energy. But I feel like most of the time the vocals kind of took precedence over the instrumental, which I mentioned at the very beginning. So I don't know how I feel about this so far. I don't know if it's just because it's like a live performance, and I think they're moving around a lot more than maybe some of the other live performances that we've watched. Mm-hmm. So it's probably harder to kind of give an accurate depiction of what the song is supposed to be like, but I'm not the biggest fan of this so far.
Yeah, so one thing to know, right? So this is 1982, so meaning 4 years before Master of Puppets, 1 year before Metallica even came out with their first album, Kill 'Em All. So, this is still very much kind of the early goings of metal. And Iron Maiden, I think most will agree, was less about the heavy, probably more about kind of showcasing the great vocals of Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer, and also a bit more about the melody, right? So their songs are more about kind of telling a story. Right? All of their songs usually have a deep message, have a story that arcs back to some historical event. And we'll get into the lyrics after, but this Iron Maiden's always been more melodic than say some of the more recent metal like Gojira that we listen to, or even Metallica.
Yeah, I know I often say that I tend to prefer being able to hear the lyrics and the voices, and that's part of my background, but I think in some cases, I do really enjoy a good instrumental, and I think I'm probably just not getting that as much here, and I know I definitely sound very contradictory right now, but it probably depends on my mood or just the style of music that I'm listening to, and I haven't really built a repertoire of knowledge about metal music yet, so I think I'm kind of figuring out what I like and what I don't like. Yeah. And I think with the information that you've given me now, I can probably look at this a bit differently for the rest of the song. But I think we needed to take this pause just because, I don't know if you saw in my face, I wasn't reacting very much.
All right, so let's take it to the end. We have about 3 more minutes to go.
See, I like that. It's repetitive, but I like it. He's going out with the hair headbanging. I think a lot of good headbanging here.
They make a good show.
I can see how the music itself was a lot more technical, which makes sense given the context that this was like the early aughts of metal music and there wasn't, I guess, as much to build off of yet and to kind of expand upon, and also how this performance specifically in this video was really more about the show that they were putting on rather than, I guess, the song itself.
Mm.
So I'm not sure quite how I feel about it yet. I'd like to take a look at the lyrics.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. All right, so starts with I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time, because at 5 o'clock it take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running low.
Okay, so that sounds...
Running low.
You don't need to recreate it. It's okay, you're not Bruce Dickinson.
No, I'm not, no.
Well, to me, so far, that sounds like Spanish Inquisition or something, or witches being put to trial.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, yeah, I mean, you know, the first level is very clear, right? It's about someone who's about to be executed, all right? When the priest comes to read me the last rites, I take a look through the bars at the last sights of a world that has gone very wrong for me. Can it be that there's some sort of an error, hard to stop the surmounting terror? Is it really the end, not some crazy dream? Somebody please tell me that I'm dreaming. It's not easy to stop from screaming, but words escape me when I try to speak. Tears flow, but why am I crying? After all, I'm not afraid of dying. Don't I believe that there never is an end? Right? So, the thing with the Iron Maiden lyrics, you can always read them, like, even without the music. It's a poem, right? I think a lot of people will say that Iron Maiden is like the Shakespeare of metal. And that's why it's so great to have Bruce Dickinson as such a great vocalist. And one, you can hear the words, right? They're very intelligible. But two, he's also putting a lot of emotions in his vocals.
I think it's interesting how they're kind of bridging that concept of facing death, and I guess how you don't really think about it until the last minute, and if everybody believes that there's an afterlife or you go to a better place after, then why are we all so afraid of dying?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Tears flow, but why am I crying? After all, I'm not afraid of dying. Don't I believe that there never is an end?
See that kind of questioning, like,
Yeah, but yeah, it's easy to be brave when you're not actually facing death. But then once you're about to get marched to the gallows pole, then all of a sudden, you know what? I'd much rather stay alive. So the choice of words and just the emotions that that they're kind of conveying through their lyrics, I always found was really amazing.
And there's just those kind of religious undertones throughout, like the priest comes to read me the last rites, and don't I believe that there never is an end, and then I'm kind of just reading a bit ahead, but he says, God be with you.
Yeah.
As the guards march me out to the courtyard, somebody cries from a cell, God be with you. If there's a God, then why has he let me go? As I walk all my life, drifts before me. And though the end is near, I'm not sorry. Catch my soul, 'cause it's willing to fly away. Mark my words, believe my soul lives on. Don't worry now that I've gone beyond to see the truth. When you know that your time is close at hand, maybe then you'll begin to understand. Life down here is just a strange illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hallowed be thy name. Yeah. Hallowed be thy name.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like his emotions before he dies or he's put to death. And then he's kind of sending out this message to the rest of the world saying, like, you don't get it now, but you will. When it's your turn, you'll know what I know now. And, like, nobody ever really knows what happens after life until you're actually there.
Yeah, and I think it's also towards the end. I guess he's accepted it, right? It's
Yeah.
like the almost the different stages of grief, right? Kind of.
Denial. I can't believe this is actually happening. Like,
Yeah, and then
is this
kind
all a dream? All that.
and anger, and then towards the end, a bit more of that acceptance that, you know what, this is it, and becoming a bit more at peace with it.
Interesting.
And by the way, one thing about this song and about Iron Maiden in general is I said last week for Master of Puppets that I believe Cliff Burton to be the best metal bassist of all time, and please to write below in the comments if you disagreed with me. Well, some people did, and most of the people who disagreed said that Steve Harris, the bassist for Iron Maiden, was the best one. When I did that little, slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass, man. Slapping that bass, man.
You could certainly hear, the good bass line from Steve Harris down there. So, he is good. There's no doubt about it. No argument coming from me. All right, so Metal Tomatoes then.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared.
All right, so I'll start. It never was honestly my favorite Iron Maiden song, but anyway, so I think for me, I would give this one a 96%.
Wow. Okay. I feel bad because I think I'm not educated enough on metal music and just its history.
That's why you're going to school.
Yeah, well, to fully appreciate this song and this performance right now.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, with my current state of knowledge and just how it compares to the other metal music that I've listened to recently, I would give it a 74.
All right, it's still pretty good,
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a different subgenre of metal.
It's just not what I've become used to hearing, although it's very difficult to characterize what I could be used to hearing when we have songs like Pisces by Ginger.
And Slipknot and,
yeah. But
Nightwish.
I think this was just kind of separate from what I considered to be metal based on my preconceptions. So I don't think I was necessarily prepared for it, but this is a song that I would love to revisit once I know a little bit more. And, I think this rating will definitely change in the future.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be some great discussion in the comments on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Be gentle.
Don't attack me in my lack of education.
She's just starting with metal. But please, if you do like this video, even if you don't like the final rating, hit the like button, subscribe to join us. We'll have a lot more coming in this School of Metal series. And give us some other, requests for what we could do next week for School of Metals, or honestly for any other videos as well. Requests are always very much appreciated. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us.
Hanging out with the squad.
That's right.
Glad I didn't do any weird, Millie rocking movements this time.
That's right. And no, I didn't do any lip syncing, so
yeah.
I'm sure some of you will appreciate. All right. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you next time.
Peace.
Metal.